Their skill and willingness to sacrifice their lives for others mark them as worthy champions. Welcome to Raid Story Legends with me, LeilaFox. Hi there, welcome to LeilaFoxNation. I am LeilaFox, and this is my Raid Story Legends YouTube series. This is a weekly series that I do to share lore from some of our favorite champs from Raid. So the two champs, actually, I would like to share a story about this week is for Ursine Ironhide and his brother Ursine Icecrusher. And talking about these two brothers, we're actually going to go check out their faction. These two brothers are part of the Skinwalkers, which is also part of the Gallon Pact. If you're not familiar with the Skinwalker story as a whole, the Skinwalker story, as told by the tragic legend of Cherokee, Skinwalkers once had the power to cast themselves in the form of any man or beast. But after centuries of overuse, these shamans found themselves entrapped as something less than human, but more than animal. Though wild and dangerous, they can sense evil and may act to prevent it. So all of the champions that are part of this Skinwalker faction pretty much have a very similar, almost sad story. They seem to be shamans or druids that for one way or another had been able to manipulate themselves between man and beast. Some of them of their own accord, other ones due to curses, and other of them due to something that prevented them from dying, and that was the only way for them to live. So today's story, I'm going to be sharing about two of them. We're going to be talking about the two bear brothers that are part of the Skinwalkers, and you're going to see how their story fits into the overall Skinwalker lore story. Here is the story legend for Ursine Ironhide and Ursine Icecrusher. I hope you enjoy. Of the savage Nor warriors, there are many tales. Their reckless bravery and disregard for death are legendary even now when most of the clans have long assimilated under the greater Talarian kingdoms, or were exiled to the arid eastern lands across the Valdemar Strait. But many still survive in the Arctic tundra that covers the shores of the Great Northern Sea. And these hardy foe have countless heroes of their own. Centuries ago, when the Norse still ruled over vast swaths of northern lands, two brothers were born to a remote clan, Arn and Ulf. They were named by their father, who hoped it would bestow the virtue of the eagle and the wolf upon the boys. Though he was not wealthy by any measure, the father was a man of war and had taught the brothers everything he knew of battle. As years of hardship and tutelage passed, Arn and Ulf grew up to be mighty warriors in their own rights. But, as it often happens in legends, tragedy struck when it was least expected. At first, a few hunters disappeared when ranging far beyond the clan's village. Then old men, women, and even children who ventured outside started vanishing as well. At least 24 people were lost in the span of a year, and the clan became desperate. Hunting parties returned with nothing, or did not return at all. Worst of all, many of the disappearances were accompanied by sightings of a strange beast and massive paw prints on the forest trails that surrounded the village. At a glance, the tracks appeared to have belonged to a bear, but the sheer size of them made the beast appear truly gigantic. The clan's venerable shaman disappeared for days, communing with the spirits through means known only to him and his apprentice. When he returned, the old man announced that a terrible curse had befallen the village. A mighty beast, corrupted by the power of evil, roamed the forest in search of human flesh. He claimed that no mortal hand could slay such a foe, yet the clan's hot-blooded young brothers disagreed. Arn and Ulf rose to the fore of that ambitious group. Inspired by the sagas of great heroes, they would hear no more of the shaman's warnings. Their own legend was there, just waiting to be forged. And their clan would not survive if the monster would be left unchecked. And so the youth set out into the forests, arming themselves with every weapon they could find in the village. For a fortnight, the warriors hunted, but their quarry had proven to be a cunning one. The monstrous bear avoided a direct confrontation with the would-be slayers. Instead, it attacked those warriors who strayed from their kin, dragged some away in the dead of night, and led the Nor in a deadly chase through the thickest forest. It seemed like the hunt was doomed, The survivors fortunate if they even got out of the forest alive. But the brothers were not daunted by adversity or by the horrors their foe inflicted on their group. They pressed onwards, using every ounce of the hunter's skill their father had taught them to track down the beast to its lair. Eventually, they found it at the very center of the forest, where the trees were gnarled and twisted by dark magic. It was there the bear made its den. Cornered at last, it attacked the Nor hunters with all its fury and slew several in the first brutal moments of the battle. But the brave warriors weathered this assault and attacked the beast with spear and bow. Though many more fell soon after, the dread bear too suffered. At long last, only Ulf and Arn were left standing, bleeding from countless injuries brought by tooth and claw, but defiant. As one, they attacked the beast, and while Ulf distracted it, Arn drove his spear through the bear's black heart. With a final roar of fury, it collapsed on the ground, dead. It was then the two brothers finally allowed their wounds to get the better of them and rested their backs against a mighty old oak. They knew that with their kin dead and their lifeblood ebbing away, they too would not survive long. Neither Arn nor Ulf cried out against this fate, for with the monster slain, their clan was safe. They were about to commend their souls to the ancestors when a woman dressed in the purest white and gold appeared before them, her arrival heralded by blinding light. The Arbiter, as the stranger called herself, revealed a terrible truth. While the brothers thought they had laid down their own lives to slay the beast, the wounds inflicted upon them were worse than mortal. The beast's curse flowed through their veins, and in barely a day's time, they would awaken as little more than bloodthirsty monsters themselves. The Arbiter claimed she could not stop the transformation, albeit it was within her power to save the brothers' minds and souls in exchange for their service. Though furious and suspicious at first, Arn and Ulf had no choice but to listen and learn that this woman was the servant of Lumea, the goddess of light, the mother of all Teleria. It was her that the brothers were to serve, for their skill and willingness to sacrifice their lives for others marked them as worthy champions. For them, the Arbiter had a very special task in mind, for the Winterlands to the north were under attack by undead legions and sorely required stalwart defenders. I hope you enjoyed this story of Ursine Icecrusher and his brother Ursine Ironhide. This story, it's very sad, and a lot of times it seems like with these skinwalkers, it often is this way, that we have these brothers who set out to defend those that they love and their clan, and though they succeed, unfortunately they pretty much lose their lives, because during their succession, they become cursed along with what they had in fact defeated. And though the Arbiter is able to save their minds and the soul, like she said, they become transformed into bears and end up becoming in the service because they are indeed very worthy champions. It's a sad story, but it has a nice ending in the fact that they could continue being warriors because deep in their soul and in their gut, they knew that's what they were destined to do. So together they can continue, even though now they're no longer in their human form, they are in their bear form. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please consider subscribing, maybe even leaving a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the story of the Bear Brothers, and I look forward to sharing my next Raid Story Legends with you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our video, you can catch us live on twitch.tv/LeilaFoxNation 4 days a week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on by and be part of our community, and we'll see you there.